Hi, this is editing Emily here. I just want to say that I hope that you enjoy this class. It's going to be a awakening and challenging yoga flow. It's about just under 50 minutes. Power yoga, so get ready to be challenged, get ready to sweat. You only need your mat and yourself and a good attitude as always. I'll see you on the mat. All right, so let's bring knees apart and toes together, starting in child's pose. Forehead rests down on the mat. And let's reach the fingertips forward. And start breathing into your body. Let's make it an active child's pose. So every time you breathe in, reach your fingertips forward. Think of lengthening through the crown of the head. And every time you breathe out, squeeze the navel back towards your spine. Try to reach your sit bones back towards your heels. Creating full yogic breaths. Breathing into the lower belly against the compression in the hips. And then continuing the inhale into the chest, into the upper back, and expanding the body as much as you can in every single direction. Let's take 3 more deep breaths here. On your next inhale, let's come up into a tabletop position, stacking your shoulders over your wrists, your hips over your knees. And we're just going to circle over the wrists, so giving the wrists a little bit of a warm-up. And circle in one direction. You can always tuck the toes for support. And pause and circle in the opposite direction. Let's come back through center. Turn your fingers so that they're pointing towards the outsides of the mat. And again, let's circle over the wrists. Maybe the stretch feels a little bit different, possibly a little bit deeper now. And pause and then switch directions again. And now coming back through center. Turn your hands around so fingertips point towards your knees. On an inhale, drop the belly, pull your chest through, gaze forward. Exhale, tuck the chin, round your spine 1 vertebra at a time and hollow the lower belly. Inhale, pull the chest through, gaze forward. Exhale, tuck the chin, 1 vertebra at a time, round the spine. Okay, keep moving here in cat and cow, feeling a deep stretch in the backs of your wrists. And let's take 1 more exhale. And then on your inhale, come back to a neutral spine. Let's keep the toes tucked. We're going to sit back on the heels. And interlacing the wrists. Let's create some figure 8s, just finding some looseness. Maybe switch the directions of the figure 8s. And let's bring the backs of the hands together and then pull your elbows down. So you should feel a deep stretch again in the backs of the wrists. Separate your fingers wide and then create fists. So squeeze the hands really hard. Good. And then open. Exhale, make fists. And open. And then again, fists. Squeeze harder. And release. Shake the wrists out. Good. Let's reach the arms above the head. Exhale here, pull the ribs in. Inhale, lift the hips off the heels, reach the arms up. Good. Exhale, side bend to the right. As the right hand touches the floor, kick your left leg out. So we're in modified side plank. And hold here. And on your next exhale, drop the left foot down. Find a deep side stretch. Left arm reaches over left ear. Press your hips up. Good. And then again, we're going to find this back bend. So right foot can come a little bit closer to the right hand. So you're just going to move it a bit to the right. Left toes are now pointing towards the left side. And try to pivot your chest up towards the ceiling. So it's a little bit like a wild thing, but very supported. Keep your right glute engaged. Good, and then on your next exhale, come back to your side bend. So left arm is just reaching over the left ear. Let's reach the left arm up towards the sky. Place all the weight in the right hand. Press into your left foot and see if you can lift your right knee off the floor. Good, so right hand and left foot. Let's extend that right leg out. Place the right foot down on the mat and reach the arms up. Lift the hips. Good. Let's bring the right knee back. Place the right knee down underneath the right hip. Good, and then we're going to swoop both arms just in front of your right knee. Good, let's lift that left leg up as high as possible. Circle the left foot back all the way over to the right. Now we're going to press into the left hand and look over towards the right foot. A deep side stretch. And on your next inhale, look forward. Left knee comes beside the right knee. So yeah, you're facing the top of the mat. Let's go on the other side. So let's tuck the toes, sit back onto the heels. Inhale, reach the arms above your head. Exhale, squeeze the lower ribs in. Inhale, lift the hips off the heels, reach up high. Exhale, side bend to the left, bringing that left hand flat down on the mat. As soon as the right knee lifts, kick the right leg out. Hold. And engaging the right glute. Think of kicking through that right foot, so finding length in the right leg. And one more breath here. Exhale, step the right foot down in one line with the left knee. Right arm reaches over right ear for a side stretch. Press your hips up and towards the right. Now for the back bend, you're going to swivel your left foot closer to the left hand. You can pivot on the right heel as well, and then try to rotate your chest so that it's pointing upwards. So finding a back bend, but only going as deep as feels comfortable. Slowly making your way back into your side stretch. Right arm reaches straight up to the sky. Right foot and left hand are firmly planted down. Let's pick that left knee off the floor. And extend your left leg out. Lift the hips. Good, and then let's see if we can bend that left knee. Lift the left foot off the floor. Bring the left knee directly underneath your left hip again. Inhale here, exhale, circle both hands towards the top of the mat. Left hand is directly in front of the left knee. Inhale, lift your right leg up as high as possible. Swivel the right leg all the way around, tucking the right toes under right heel. Pressing into the right hand, look over your left shoulder. Good. Deep breaths into the right side body. And on your next inhale, let's look forward. Bring the right knee beside the left, tabletop. Let's tuck all 10 toes underneath the heels and come into your downward facing dog. So lifting the hips back and up. And here feel free to move around, to bend and straighten one leg at a time, maybe both together, whatever feels good to you. Finding stillness here in your down dog for one breath. On your next inhale, let's come into a high plank. Good. Exhale, downward facing dog, keeping your back nice and straight. Inhale into high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale again, high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 more. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, high plank. Pause here. Exhale, lower halfway. Pause here. Inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down to the floor. Untuck your toes. Baby cobra. Lift your chest off the mat. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Hold, maybe lift the hands off the floor. Keep pulling your elbows back, shoulders back. 2 more breaths. And on an exhale, release, tuck your toes. Come back to downward facing dog in whatever way you prefer. Good. On your next inhale, the right leg rises. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, step the right foot on the outside of the right hand. Fingertips walk towards the top of the mat. Let's open up the heart space, pulling the chest forward. Good. Finding some movement. Staying super active in that left leg. And finding stillness here. Plant the hands. Inhale, step back, downward facing dog. Left leg rises, breathe in. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Inhale. Exhale, left foot steps on the outside of the left hand. Both fingertips walk towards the top of the mat. And again, you can find some micro movement here to open up the left hip. You can stay still, whatever you prefer. Just try to keep your collarbones and heart space open. Two more breaths. And let's plant the hands underneath the shoulders. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come into high plank. Exhale, lower halfway down. Knees can always support. Upward facing dog, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift high up onto your toes. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward. Feet land on the outsides of the hands. Active squat, so we're going to bend the knees 90 degrees, reach the arms above the head. Inhale here, exhale, stand up tall, hands to heart space. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, squat down, hands to the heart. Inhale, hands to the floor. Exhale, step or jump back, your vinyasa of choice. So knees can lower down on the floor, they can stay lifted, whatever you prefer. And whatever feels right in your body today. Now let's do 2 more of those. Inhale, come high up onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees. Step or float, feet land on the outsides of the mat, active squat. Exhale, stand up tall, hands to the heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, squat. Inhale, hands to the floor. Exhale, step or jump back. Your vinyasa. Inhale through up dog or cobra. Exhale through downward facing dog. And last round, inhale, lift high up onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, step or float. Active squat. Stand up tall, exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, squat. Inhale, hands to the floor. Exhale, step or float back. Taking your time here and meeting me in downward facing dog. Alright, let's take one more full deep breath here. On your next inhale, the right leg rises. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, right knee, left elbow, pause here. Keep the right knee bent, see if you can lift your left arm up. Maybe extend the right leg out. It can touch the floor or it can stay in the air, up to you. Okay, let's re-bend the right knee, left hand comes down on the mat. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, step the right foot on the outside of the right hand. Now keeping this big distance between the feet, inhale, crescent lunge. So the hips will be wider apart. It's just another way to find some more space. And it's good to change up the way that we do poses so that we're not always stuck in the exact same alignment. So we're really opening up all parts of the body. The knee can come over the ankle sometimes, that's completely fine as well. So trying not to stay too rigid in our practice. 2 more breaths here. And on your next exhale, plant the hands on the inside of the right foot, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Ground the right heel, pause. Reach the right arm up to the sky. And then maybe kick that left leg out. Okay, wherever you are, bend the left knee, right hand comes onto the mat again. Come back to 3-legged dog. Exhale, left foot steps on the outside of left hand. Crescent lunge, rise up again. There's that big gap between the feet. Let's take 3 more breaths here. On your next exhale, both hands come down on the mat on the inside of your left foot. Down dog, step it back. Inhale, come into a high plank. Let's lift the right foot off the mat. And then maybe you can lift your left arm off the mat. So start by the left fingertips. Maybe you can lift it off. Maybe you want to extend it forward or back towards your left hip. And let's come back to high plank. Very good. Same thing other side. Lift your left leg. Let's come onto the right fingertips. Maybe extend them forward. Make sure you can breathe. Whew, trembling. Good, and then let's come back to high plank. Inhale here, exhale your vinyasa. And on your next inhale, come high up onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, step or float, land the feet on the outsides of the hands. Active squat, inhale. Exhale, stand up tall, hands to the heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, squat. Inhale, hands to heart. Exhale, step or jump back. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, the right leg rises. One breath, one movement. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Extend the right leg out. Reach the left arm up. Bend the right knee, left hand plants down. Three-legged dog, inhale. Step the right foot on the outside of the right hand. Inhale, reach the arms up, crescent lunge. Exhale, plant the hands, downward facing dog, step back. Left leg lifts up high. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Kick the left leg out. Left hand comes down to the mat. Three-legged dog, inhale. Exhale, left foot steps on the outside of left hand. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, push up, so halfway. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, vinyasa. Okay, let's do one active sun salutation. Inhale, lift high up onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, step or float. Feet to the outsides of the hands. Active squat. Hands to the heart space, stand up tall. Inhale, reach the arms above the head. Exhale, come down. Now placing the hands on the floor, maybe we take a crow pose, lifting onto the toes. Thinking of chaturanga arms, seeing if we can place the knees somewhere on the elbows, so somewhere between the elbows and the shoulders. And then we don't have to lift the feet off the mat if we don't feel comfortable. Just transferring the weight onto the hands, so doing this little rocking movement back and forth. And then maybe you feel comfortable squeezing one heel into the sit bones and placing it down, and then the other, and then maybe eventually both. And let's take one more deep breath here. On your next exhale, bring your knees down to the floor. Let's take a quick child's pose just for the wrists. Head can relax down on the mat. Maybe the hands come by your feet. Maybe you want to roll your forehead side to side, really whatever feels good. And on your next inhale, let's reach the arms towards the top of the mat. Look forward, tuck the toes. Let's come into high plank. Inhale here. Exhale, vinyasa. You can drop the knees or keep them lifted. Just feel whatever your body is capable of right now, whatever feels best. All right, inhale, the right leg rises. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the right knee and open up the hip. Maybe flip your dog over into wild thing. So lifting the right hand off the mat, allowing that left foot to rotate so that the left toes point towards the back of the mat. Now this is pretty much what we did in the beginning of the practice if you went into the back bend. On your next exhale, right hand comes back on the mat. Keep your right knee bent and immediately bring your right knee to left elbow, lifting the left arm up off the mat, kicking that right leg out. Bend the right knee, left hand comes back down on the mat, three-legged dog. Exhale, right foot steps on the outside of right hand. Reach the arms up, crescent lunge. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, down dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, bend your left knee, open up the hip, maybe flip into wild thing. Two more breaths here. And look towards the top of your mat. Left hand comes back down. Left knee stays bent. Bring your left knee to right elbow. Kick it out. Exhale, right hand comes back down to the mat. Three-legged dog. Step your left foot on the outside of the left hand. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, plant the hand, step back, downward facing dog. Last one of this sequence. One breath to movement. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, right leg rises, bend the knee, open up the hip, maybe flip into wild thing. Exhale, right hand comes down to the mat. Right knee to left elbow, kick the right leg out. Lift the left arm up. Exhale, left hand comes back down to the mat. Three-legged dog, inhale. Right foot steps on the outside of right hand, reach the arms up, crescent lunge. Exhale, downward facing dog. Last time, inhale, left leg rises. Left knee to left elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the left knee, open up the hip, wild thing. Good. Look down to your mat. The left hand comes back down on the floor. Left knee to right elbow, kick it out. Right hand comes back down on the floor. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, left foot on the outside of left hand. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk your fingertips back towards your feet. Let's take a nice wrist stretch. So we're going to slide the hands underneath the feet. Palms are connected to the feet. The toes are in the wrist creases. Now you can either bend your elbows out to the sides, or if you want a really deep wrist stretch, you can bend the elbows towards your shins. So let's take a deep breath in, flatten your back. Exhale, bend the elbows, pull the crown of the head down to the floor. let's take 5 more breaths here. Last breath here. And then slowly, one hand at a time, slide them from underneath the feet. Let's look towards the top of the mat and come into your downward facing dog. And maybe shake out the head if that feels good. Maybe walk out your dog, whatever you need. On your next exhale, let's bring both knees down on the floor. We're going to bring the elbows down on the floor as well. And we're going to bring the hands into prayer position. So bring your forehead down to the mat. Try to reach your arms as far as possible. And then bring your hands into prayer, and let's bring the thumbs towards the back of the head. So it's puppy pose with a little shark fin. And you want to push the chest down towards the mat and pull the hips back and up so the core is super active. And this should feel like a nice stretch in the triceps, in the chest, and the shoulders. Let's take another 5 breaths here. And release the shark fin. Lift the head. Bring both hands underneath your shoulders again, coming into tabletop. Now, if it feels good, you can move around here a little bit, just getting rid of any tension stuck in the body. And eventually we're going to bring the knees a little bit closer towards the hands, and we're going to sit down on the knees. So we're preparing to take camel pose. A lot of sweat in my eye. All right, so we're going to stand up on the knees. And for the first one, we can keep the toes tucked, maybe even for the second one. And the knees can be about hip-width distance apart, maybe even a little bit wider. Let's bring the hands on the lower back. Fingers can either point up or down. That's up to what is your personal preference. And then let's start to push the hips forward. Squeeze the elbows together. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and start lifting your chest out of your lower back. And look up to the ceiling without dropping the head back. So we want to keep the back of the neck long. And if you feel comfortable here, if you don't feel any compression in your lower back, then maybe one hand at a time, you can bring your hands onto your heels, or onto your ankles. But keep lifting. It's all about lifting. It's not so much about the back bend. Right. And this can be very overwhelming and very uncomfortable. So wherever you are, just try to breathe there. Let's hold it for another 5 breaths. And if the hands are on the heels, one at a time, bring them back to the lower back. And then let's bring the shoulders over the hips, untuck the toes, sit down onto your heels, just rest your hands in your lap, and close your eyes, just observing the after effects of the shape. And whatever you're feeling, just let it come. just going to do one more round of camel. You can do the same thing. You can go deeper. You don't have to go as deep as the first one, so it's really depending on how you feel today. So when you're ready, standing up onto the knees again, hands come to the lower back, press the hips forward, start to lift out of the lower back, take this in your own time, and then maybe hands come onto the heels, maybe they stay on the lower back. Trying to go a little bit deeper than the first time. Super important to squeeze the glutes and keep pressing the hips forward to protect your lower back. Squeeze the shoulder blades so that not all the weight of your back is collapsing onto your lower spine. Let's go for another 5 breaths. And each inhale lifting more. And wherever you are, stay. And then slowly, once more, making your way out, sitting the hips onto the heels, resting the hands into the lap, closing the eyes, and observing the after effects of the shape. And maybe you feel some difference in temperature in the back of the neck or in your back. Maybe you feel overwhelmed or dizzy, maybe short of breath. So many different sensations that can arise after deep heart openers. So just observe. Let's start to make our way onto our backs. So we're just going to cross the shins behind us, roll onto the seat. And one vertebra at a time, we're going to make our way all the way down to the back. And allowing the head to heavily rest into the floor. Take a moment here into constructive rest. And then we're going to take one bridge pose, bringing your heels very close to the sit bones. Press into the heels, and on an inhale, lift your hips. And 5 more breaths here. One more breath. And then on your exhale, slowly release down to the floor. And let's cross the right ankle over the left knee. And then let's interlace the hands either around the left shin or left thigh. Pull the left knee towards you, push the right knee away, and keep both toes flexed. And try to keep your shoulders grounded as well. So every time we're pulling, shoulders tend to lift off the mat. Just try to ground them back down, keeping your back nice and flat. And slowly release both feet on the mat in constructive rest. And then we're going to cross the left ankle over the right knee. And let's lift the right foot off the mat, interlace the hands where it is comfortable around the right leg. And trying to find that deep outer hip stretch on your left leg. take 2 more breaths here. Slowly release the legs. Let's come into a happy baby, grabbing both outer blades of the feet, pulling the knees down into the shoulders. And this happy baby can look however you want it to look. So you can keep the knees bent, or you can bend and straighten one leg at a time if that feels good. You can also keep the legs straight. Just have fun here, whatever your body needs. We're here for 5 more breaths. Let's slowly bring the knees together. And then we're going to take a twist. Both knees come over to the right side, left arm to the left. So just trying to keep things simple. And simple is sometimes the most effective and most comfortable way to do things. Slowly bring both knees back towards center. Sorry. And then let's bring both knees over to the left. Right arm extends out to the right. Again, breathing into the belly. Keeping the eyes closed. Starting to let your body go. Take 1 more breath here. And on your next inhale, come back towards center. And let's give ourselves a big hug, lifting the forehead up towards the knees, giving ourselves some love, telling ourselves we did well today. And giving ourselves a very tight hug, squeeze every single muscle in your body. And then on your exhale, let it all go into your Savasana. Extend the legs out in front of you, the arms alongside the body. Take a deep, full breath in, fill up the lungs with air completely. And then exhale, let it go through the mouth. Take 1 more deep cleansing breath in. And release. And let go completely. Feel your body becoming heavier and heavier with each breath out that you take. Remembering the practice, how it felt in the body, the determination and willpower it took to overcome those challenges. Remembering how the more simple movements felt in your body. noticing how your body feels now in complete stillness. Giving yourself this time to heal, to rest, to re-energize before you head back into the rest of your day. If you think of yoga like music, the movements or the music notes are just as important as those moments of pause and rest. The silence is just as important as the action. So try your best to embrace this moment of peace and quiet. This time for yourself to cultivate presence, stillness, and a very deep awareness of self. I hope that through these classes that you learn to accept and appreciate your body for everything that it can do. Appreciating that every single day is different. Sometimes challenges are easy, sometimes not so much. I hope that through these practices that you embrace the flow of life, the ups and downs, and just every single day. I hope it helps you find joy. Right, so you can stay in your Savasana here as long as you need. When you feel that it is time, that you've had enough, you can slowly start reinviting movement through your breath, and then small movement in the body that turns into full body stretches. And eventually meeting me in a comfortable seat. When you are seated, just take a moment here in meditation, noticing how the body's feeling, noticing what headspace you're in, the thoughts passing through your mind, and how you are doing on an emotional level. Let's take a few deep breaths here together. Just reinviting energy back into the body. On your next inhale, let's reach the arms above the head. Exhale, keeping the length in your spine, bring the hands to the heart space. As you go forth into the rest of your day, may you have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, and peace in your heart. From my heart to yours, namaste.